Today, we're going to talk about the 1-cent coin, the penny, its origins, its value, and the surprising amounts of money it represents in circulation. Plus, we'll explore some rare pennies that are worth way more than just 1 cent. You won't want to miss this. Our journey starts in 1792, when the United States was a new nation, and the need for a standardized currency became clear. The US was fresh off its fight for independence, and a unified currency was essential for the country to grow. That's when Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1792, establishing the US Mint. The first official 1-cent coin was minted in 1793, and it was far from the small, copper coin we know today. The first design, known as the chain cent, was large and bulky, made of pure copper, and featured a chain with 15 links symbolizing the 13 original colonies plus Vermont and Kentucky, which had recently joined the Union. Despite its bold symbolism, the chain cent was not popular, and it didn't last long. In 1794, the US Mint introduced a new design, the re-cent, which was much smaller, easier to handle, and featured a simple wreath on the reverse side. From the very beginning, the 1-cent coin has undergone multiple redesigns to reflect the changing identity of the nation, and the penny's evolution has continued through the years. As the United States expanded, so did the designs of its currency. The penny, in particular, saw many redesigns. By the 1850s, the Flying Eagle cent was introduced, which was smaller than its predecessors and featured an eagle in flight. This coin marked the beginning of the penny's transition into a more practical size for everyday transactions. Then, in 1859, the Indian head cent was introduced. This coin featured Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress. This design remained in circulation for over 50 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. But as time marched on, the penny's design would continue to evolve. In 1909, a groundbreaking event occurred. The U.S. Mint honored President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday by putting his portrait on the 1-cent coin. This marked the first time a U.S. president was featured on a coin, and it started the era of the Lincoln cent, which remains in use. The first Lincoln cent featured a reverse side with 2 ears of wheat, commonly known as the wheat penny. The reverse was later changed in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial to honor Lincoln's legacy. And that's the design that most of us are familiar with today. Fast forward to the present, and you'll see that the penny is still in circulation today, although with a few changes. In 2010, the US Mint introduced a new reverse design called the Shield cent. The design features a shield, symbolizing the strength of the United States, and the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. But while the penny's design has evolved, there's one thing that hasn't changed. It's still costing more to produce than it's worth. At present, the cost of producing a penny is around 2.1 cents. In other words, it costs the US Mint more money to make the penny than the coin itself is worth. This is a significant issue because it means that the US government is losing money on every penny it manufactures. With digital payments and inflation on the rise, many have argued that it's time to retire the penny. Other countries, like Canada, have already discontinued their smallest denomination. But despite the costs and debates, the penny still remains a part of American life. So if a penny is worth just 1 cent, why does it still matter? In today's economy, a single penny doesn't buy much. But surprisingly, it still plays an important role in the financial system. Pennies are used in cash transactions for making exact change, especially for small purchases. Despite its minimal value, the penny still circulates in vast quantities. In fact, there are billions of pennies in circulation. As of 2023, the US Mint reports that more than 150 billion pennies are currently in circulation. That's a lot of small change. But of course, not all pennies are created equal. Some pennies, due to their rarity, are worth much more than their face value. There are certain pennies that are highly sought after by collectors, with some fetching astronomical prices. Let's talk about some pennies that are worth much more than 1 cent. Yes, you heard that right. There are rare pennies out there worth thousands, even millions of dollars. It might sound crazy, but the world of coin collecting is full of incredible treasures. One of the most famous rare pennies is the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, the U.S. Mint switched to producing pennies made of steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, a small number of copper pennies were accidentally minted in 1943, and they are worth a fortune. In fact, one of these copper pennies recently sold for $1.7 million. Then, there's the 1909 SVDB penny, which features the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner. Only a few thousand of these pennies were minted in San Francisco, making them extremely rare. In excellent condition, they can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. And finally, the 1955 double-die penny. This penny is famous for a minting error where the date and lettering appear doubled. It's one of the most famous errors in U.S. coinage history, and in great condition, it can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Who would have thought that a simple penny could turn into a valuable collector's item? So, next time you spot a penny, it might be worth taking a second look, just in case you've stumbled upon a hidden treasure. So, what's next for the 1-cent coin? The future of the penny is uncertain. With rising production costs and the shift toward digital payments, there's ongoing debate about whether the U.S. should continue to mint pennies. Some experts argue that it might be time to retire the penny, while others believe it's an integral part of the American financial system.